This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeye with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. But if you are into the old Discord, click on the link below and just join the Discord. We over there talking that shit 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And 366 days a year on leap year, which this year is not a year, so 365 days. It is what it is. But the Discord, guys, check it out. It is fun. We are continuing to talk about the NFC West, guys. We have already talked about the San Francisco 49ers and how I think they're going to be an 11-win team this season. And as we continue our trek across the West, we have to stay in the great state of California, and we have to go to LA. We have to talk about the LA Rams, and that's exactly who we'll be talking about today, is the Los Angeles Rams. They have some big offseason woes, some big offseason moves, but it is what it is. Before we get too carried away, we have to welcome some people in the chat. We have to welcome the man, the myth, the legend, the peanut butter to my ladies. No, it's not Brandon Combs. It's my man, John Pebbles, is in the chat. He says, what up? What's going on, John? Hope you have a grand old day, man. Hope you're staying fresh out there. Stay cool. And he says that the Giants are a struggling franchise. Right off the bat, pew pew, shots fired. Ain't no time to warm up. Ain't no time for nothing. John says right off the bat, our CFO of Pigskin Pundit says Giants are a struggling franchise. Guys, are the Giants a struggling franchise? I mean, if you think about it, they've been in the playoffs more recent than a lot of teams in the NFL. With a playoff win, I might add, just 3 years ago, right? They were in the playoffs. They beat the Minnesota Vikings. It was Brian Daboll's first year. The next year, Daniel Jones got those bills. Yeah, Saquon Barkley was injured, of course, as always. What is new with that? But are they really a struggling franchise? I don't know. I don't know. We got my man Mark D is in the chat. Says, what up? What is up, Mark D? Hope you're having a grand old day, guys. It is Tuesday, so in 2 days' time, the NFL experts will be airing live over there on their Facebook channel, of course, their YouTube channel as well. If you guys want to check out some experts, use that too loosely, experts. Go ahead and check them out. No, they are good guys. Mark and Wayne G put on a great show, well-produced show by Wayne G. He definitely does some work over there. But guys, like I said, we are talking about the LA Rams today. But first, we got to get into some thoughts. And now, Mike's thoughts. My thoughts are kind of convoluted today. My thoughts have been kind of all over the place. There's been a little bit of here. They've been a little there. As you guys know, I'm dealing with some issues here on the old body. I'm working on a master's degree. Of course, I work, do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. Coach high school football, coach middle school football, coach my son's flag football team. I am all over the map. I burn the candle at both ends, and I love it each and every day. I love it. But when I start to prepare for shows, I watch other people discuss their teams. I don't watch ESPN. I don't really watch the NFL Network or NBC Sports or CBS. I watch these other shows like myself, and I really interact with those people. I chat with them. I talk shit, and I want to see what they say about their team. One thing is for certain, guys. We all enjoy talking about sports. That's why we do this, right? Even if YouTube or Facebook or Spotify did not give us the platform to talk sports, I would still be talking with my dad every day. I would still be talking with my coworkers every day, even though they're all nerds, but I digress from that. I would still be intertwined in this realm of football. I love football. But when people say that, when people disagree with you, their go-to things are, one, you're on drugs, right? You don't know football like I do. Okay. So let me just point this out here. I have many, many years of playing experience. Now, I'm saying just because I was a player at a very high level, never the professional level, but I was at a very high level. I'm not saying I know football inside and out, because just because you play the game doesn't mean you're an expert of it or know how the game works, right? Now, on the flip side of that, I have been a coach now. This is my 8th year coaching high school football. Now, high school football is not NFL, is not college. I get it. But you learn how to watch a game. You learn how to prepare for a game. You learn how to watch film. You learn to see what works, what doesn't, and that's what makes me so different from everybody else. Because when I watch film, like today I watched the inter-squad scrimmage between the Detroit Lions and the New York Giants. It happened 2 days ago, but I just watched the film today. I noticed things that most people wouldn't notice, right? I noticed those things, and it really intrigues me. So to say that I don't know what I'm talking about, okay, your opinion's valid. You have a valid opinion, and I concur with you on that. But at the same time, I could say the same thing to you, but when I say it, I get blocked from Facebook. Bullying or something. Regardless, everybody has thoughts. Everybody has opinions. I respect everybody's opinion, and I pop them up on my screen here each year and every day. So if you want to talk that shit, come on, talk that shit. We can have a civilized conversation right here. Just like this. John, boom, the Giants are struggling franchise. We can talk about it. But don't go to drugs. Don't go to, I know football better than you. What do you? You've only been watching the Kansas City Chiefs for 5 years, ever since I've been good. Just shut up with that shit. It's so dumb. Get a better thought on that. Alrighty, guys. Those are my thoughts. Kind of shooting from the hip. Pew, pew. Today's the shoot from the hip type of day. Nah, but like, for real. If you have difference of opinion from somebody, who really cares? Agree to a disagree. Have a nice civilized conversation. Don't be calling people fat and dumb and you're on drugs. That's just stupid. But you all want to know what is really stupid. You all want to know what is really, really stupid. Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison has officially been charged with 2 misdemeanor DUIs, stemming from his July 12th arrest just a couple months ago. Actually, about 6 weeks ago, right? Actually, not a month ago. It was a month ago. He was arrested when he fell asleep behind his wheel. I believe it was in Vegas. I can't remember. But he has officially been charged for 2 misdemeanor DUIs. And if he is charged or pled guilty to these said charges, he could face up to 6 months in jail. Granted, we all know that DUIs very rarely carry jail sentence unless you kill somebody. And then if that's the matter, you're only in there for like 4 years anyways. Let's just be honest. Right, Henry Ruggs? But when we talk about setting an example in the world, when we talk about stupidness, when we talk about preventable things, this is a preventable thing. Jordan Addison's DUI is a preventable thing. There is a comedian out there. I don't know his name. I'm not going to take his work whatsoever. But basically, he said, back in my day, I had to earn that DUI, right? I had to, there was no choice for me sometimes but to drive home from a party, to drive home from a bar. This year, or nowadays, you have Ubers, you have taxis, you have Lyfts, you have teammates. So if I am the NFL, if I am the Minnesota Vikings, if I am anybody that is any type of GM or ownership in the NFL, I would be setting an example of Jordan Addison. Now, I understand it's just a DUI, Buck. He didn't do anything. He just fell asleep at the wheel. But what if he would have done something? Henry Ruggs, the NFL had a perfect opportunity to make an example out of him. Let's just be flat and honest. Henry Ruggs will be back in the NFL probably next year. I believe he's released from jail next season. He will probably make his way back into the NFL. NFL and people in general, we need to set a better example. We need to set in a better example. DUIs are fucking stupid. Let's just be flat honest. Getting a DUI is stupid. There should be no way in this day and age that you are getting a DUI. If you're getting a DUI, that's just pure laziness. Downloading Uber on your phone. Downloading Lyft on your phone. Hell, once you download it the first time, you get a first ride free. I don't have the money, Buck. I don't have the money to get an Uber. It's the first one's free. Well, but Buck, I've already used the free one. I can't afford the $12 to get an Uber. Text me. I'll freaking Cash App you. Like, stop driving drunk. This is so stupid at this point. Jordan Addison and the NFL, I hope they make an example out of him. I hope they make an example as of, I mean, like, obviously I don't want him to end his career, but if it was me, if it was you, if it was Casey, if it was John, our jobs, we would probably get fired from our jobs. We wouldn't be able to find a job because we have a DUI more than likely. We will be struggling to make ends meet because of one mistake. So just because Jordan Addison has some dollar bills, just because Henry Ruggs III has some dollar bills, they get an opportunity to basically get a slap on the wrist. Let's just be flat out honest. Jordan Addison, 2 misdemeanor DUIs, which is 2 is kind of weird when you only got arrested one time, but I digress from that. But a misdemeanor DUI is 6 months in jail, max sentence. What's going to happen? He's going to get 12-month probation, probably can't drive for a year, whatever. Just a normal DUI thing. Slap on the wrist. Nothing ever happens. If it was me, sure, I would probably get the same thing. A year probation, slap on the wrist, put a little breathalyzer thing in my car after I do the year where I can't drive. But beyond that, got fired from work. Now I'm homeless because I can't pay my mortgage. My wife left me. My kids don't see me because I can't pay child support because I don't have a job. I end up getting arrested because I can't pay child support. It's just, I don't know. I'm kind of going on a tangent here. It's so irritating. God, this pisses me off. Casey Morgan's in the chat. What's up, Casey? He says his career is over. I don't think it is. I do not think his career is over at all. He's going to get a slap on his wrist. His court date is October 7th. He'll probably enter a plea deal before that, so he won't get missing any time from work, no practices, no games. He'll probably get to report over Zoom. Maybe if he's a really, really bad boy, he might get 2-game suspension. Come on. His career's not over. Come on. Casey says at least he didn't rent 2 exotic cars and race them and crash then run. Whoa. Is that shots fired with Rashid Rice? Casey says we wouldn't even be able to drive again for a year, right? You get suspended for a year. But it is so frustrating when you see stuff like just like this, especially in a professional athlete. It is so frustrating because of the simple fact that it is preventable. Professional athletes always have people around them. Let's just be honest. Whether it's your best friend from elementary school, whether it's your manager, hell, it could be an agent, a girlfriend, people are always around you. When I was 19 years old, 20 years old, I was starting to get some traction in the college realm, right? I was starting to make a name for myself. I was starting to get some side money. Let's just be honest about it. Sliding those dollar bills to you. My uncle, at the time, best advice he ever gave me. He said, if you ever make it big, NFL, right, making those dollar bills, he said, always have a fall guy. And when he first told me that, I'm like, what are you talking about? Always have a fall guy. And in return, I learned down the road, he meant always have that ride or die guy that is going to take the blame for you. You can slide him $20,000-$30,000 a year or a month or whatever it is, right? But come push or shove, hell or high water, this guy has your back. My uncle, in a roundabout way, saying he had my back. Ride or die, I am your fall guy. So if we went out to a bar and we got into a fight because somebody wants to run their mouth over something stupid, and I punch a guy, and the cops come, my fall guy, like, you know what? I did it. He was in the bathroom. People like Jordan Addison and Henry Ruggs, you guys need that fall guy. You guys need that guy that is going to drive you around. You need that guy that is willing to take the bullet for you. You need that guy that is willing to do this, this, and this. Stop being stupid. Now, I'm not saying a fall guy is the best thing in the world, but keep your nose clean. Stop being stupid. It helps. I'm going to digress. In New Hampshire, two-time DUI is a loss of a license. Wow. And here in the great state of Indiana, you can have like 15 and still be scot-free. Fucking ridiculous. Fighting is happening in Giants and Lions joint practices. Some training camp fights have been the news as of late. So as of August 6th here, inner squad scrimmages are starting to happen. And this is where the bulk of your games really are win and lost. Because the preseason games means much of nothing. Because we're not going to see stars. We're not going to see a lot of anything. Inter squad scrimmage, you get 90 minutes of ones versus ones. You get 180 plays of ones versus ones. But the New York Giants, they are a scrappy little bunch. The New York Giants are scratching and clawing against the Detroit Lions. Most notably, Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones does not like what was being said about him or to his teammates. He comes and shoves a guy in the back and insert a fight. Boom, bada bing, bada boom. All hell breaks loose. This is great for the New York Giants, guys. This is great for the New York Giants. All offseason, all during Hard Knocks, right? We've seen Daniel Jones. Is he really our guy? Daniel Jones isn't a very good quarterback. Daniel Jones is soft. Daniel Stoff is weak. Daniel Jones is this, and this, and this, and this. Daniel Jones says, hold my beer. I'm going to show you guys how tough I am. I'm going to show you that I am the man, the myth, the legend. I am going to show you how great I am. This is great for New York Giants fans. This is great for New York Giants fans. You see Daniel Jones, your quarterback, getting out there, getting in the mix, actually starting the fight. This leadership is going to spill over into the rest of the team. The offensive line is going to be nasty. That defense is like, what? We're not going to be outshined by no quarterback fighting him like MFer. The wide receiver going to come to the rescue, guys. This makes the New York Giants a little bit more scarier. Everybody is writing off the New York Giants this season. Let's just be flat and honest. Daniel Jones is done after this year. Dayball's getting fired. Whatever, yada, yada, yada. Nobody's giving any stock in the New York Giants whatsoever. Quietly, they built some players off in the offseason. Had a pretty good draft in Malik Neighbors, like for their number 1 overall pick. Added that weapon. Yes, they lost Saquon, but you know what? Addition by subtraction. Guys, this fight and this inter-squad scrimmage with the Detroit Lions kind of shows me that the New York Giants are ready to win some games. This kind of shows me that maybe a couple years ago it wasn't such a fluke that Daniel Jones got those Dollar Bills, Joe, and they beat the Minnesota Vikings in the playoffs. Guys, I'm going to be flat out honest. The New York Giants gained a lot of respect after this fight. The New York Giants gained a lot of it factor after that fight. I think this year I had him like at 6 wins. Let me pull it up to confirm. Let me pull it up. Where's my predictor? New York Giants. I had my bad. I had them at 2 wins this season. 2-15. After this fight, after that swagger that they've gotten from beating down the Detroit Lions all inter-squad scrimmage here the last few days, this could be a 6, 7, 8-win team. It would not shock me, guys, that the New York Giants could potentially sneak into that second place in the NFC East now. I'm starting to love me some New York Giants, baby. I'm going to put the NY on my hat real quick here. Casey says the Giants are one losing season away from a fire sale. You are absolutely right. Casey, you are absolutely right. This season, the New York Giants have to have a winning record, I think. 8 wins is possibly okay, but they have to win. Have to get 9 wins. Otherwise, Daboll is probably gone. Daniel Jones is probably gone. Yes, this is definitely a make or break year for the New York Giants, and this training camp fight kind of shows that they are ready. They know what's up. Caroline's in the chat says, hey, what's up, Man Hour Nation? What's up, Caroline? Long time no see. We are live every Monday through Friday right here at 2:30 East Coast time on Facebook and, of course, YouTube. Glad to see you back. Casey Morgan says, Jones has to prove himself this year. Him starting a fight says a lot. Exactly. Him starting that fight says, you know what? We're tired of being the bullied. We are tired of getting bullied. We are tired of you, the rest of the NFL, pushing us around. Me, Daniel Jones, I'm tired of you guys thinking that you can even remotely push me around anymore. It's go time, baby. It's go time. John Pebbles says he'll be Patty Mahomes' ball boy at the end of this season. I wouldn't be mad about that. Chiefs Kingdom right there, baby. I would not be mad about that one bit. I would not. Daniel Jones would be a perfect backup quarterback for the Chiefs. Fail, baby, but I don't think he is. I think they're ready. Caroline says, so it is true that what they're saying about Bo Nix being deep on the charts may not even be a starter this season. If you guys want to talk about Bo Nix, everything that I've seen, everything that I've read, every press conference that I've seen, every depth chart I've seen, Bo Nix is the number one quarterback for the Denver Broncos. As of right now, I believe Bo Nix is starting their preseason game, week number 1. Caroline, Bo Nix could be the first rookie quarterback ever to start for Sean Payton. Bo Nix has been showing out in camp. Zach Wilson is not getting any first-team reps. He's not even getting second-team reps, right? Bo Nix has taken all of the reps on first team, it seems like. Every training camp film that I've seen, every scrimmage that I've seen, it's been Bo Nix out there about 70% of the time. Jarrett Stidham has taken a couple snaps as well. Not as many as Bo Nix, but Zach Wilson, definitely third string, definitely emergency quarterback like at this particular point. But Bo Nix is going to start for the Denver Broncos this season. I think Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos are all in on Bo Nix. And if this is true, they are going to struggle still. Do not get it twisted. The Denver Broncos are still going to struggle this season. They're still going to get about 5 to 6 wins this season. But moving forward, Bo Nix, trial by fire, right? As long as he doesn't get smacked around and get killed, which he shouldn't. The Denver Broncos had a top 10 rated offensive line last season per PFF. The Denver Broncos should be just fine moving forward. I mean, Jarrett Stidham's not your franchise guy by any stretch of the imagination. Zach Wilson could potentially be if he got a shot. But if Bo Nix, you feel is your franchise guy, put him in there now. Put in Bo Nix right now. Let him play. Let those ears dry up a little bit. Let him get a little long in the tooth. Let him learn the NFL ropes. Let him get him smacked around and bada bing, bada boom. Maybe next year you're a playoff team. Casey says Zach Wilson's skill level is under a practice squad quarterback. Talk about shots fired. Talk about shots fired, Casey. Damn. Give my man Zach Wilson some credit. Damn. Casey says he's not a first-string quarterback talent. He's not a second-string quarterback talent. He's not a third-string quarterback talent. He's not even a practice squad quarterback talent. He's a backup practice squad quarterback talent. Slow it down, baby. Chad Colson's in the chat. What's up, Chad? And he says, would you want John Gruden on the Chiefs staff? And do you think Andy would move him to OC next year? First off, John Gruden is an excellent coach. John Gruden has a Super Bowl pedigree, right? He won one with the Buccaneers. He took the Raiders to the Super Bowl, right? And if you remember correctly, before he was fired, which I think is still stupid that they fired him, he had the Raiders going in the right direction. Everybody was talking about the AFC West being the most dominant division in football from top to bottom. Everybody getting 9-10 wins every year in and like year out. As a Chiefs fan, right there, Chiefs Kingdom, you guys see it. I am a Chiefs fan right here. Right there's my Royals hat, Kansas City all day through and through. I was scared seeing John Gruden on the Raiders coaching staff. I was relieved when they fired him. I was relieved when they let him go. Like, whew. Raiders suck again. Now, as far as having him on the staff, absolutely. Anytime you can get a mind like John Gruden or Bill Belichick or any of those old heads together in the same room and they start collaborating, bring on all the experience I can. Right? As a, quote, young coach here, of course, I'm going into my 8th year now, but my first and second year as a head coach, I was bringing on guys with 20, 30 years experience. I was bringing on guys that was been around the block. I want to soak up all the information I can from him, and that is what's so great about Andy Reid. Andy Reid is ever evolving, right? Ever evolving is Andy Reid. From his days with the Philadelphia Eagles, from his days back with the Green Bay Packers, every year he evolves. 2018, greatest show in the NFL. I can't say greatest show on turf because they play on grass, but high-flying offense, averaged 40, 50 points a game all over the field. The following season, or 2 seasons ago, dink and dunk. Right? It's just, John Gruden would be an excellent addition to the Kansas City Chiefs staff. Because what the Kansas City Chiefs missed last season was good cop, bad cop. They missed that good cop, bad cop. Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy had a great formulation. Whether Andy Reid was the good cop and Eric Bieniemy was the bad cop, last season, yes, they did win the Super Bowl. Matt Nagy wasn't the rival cop to Andy Reid. I feel like Matt Nagy was kind of a yes man to Andy Reid. He would always agree with him, or when Andy Reid would jump on players, Matt Nagy would jump on the players, or if he would let the players slide, Matt Nagy would let the players slide, right? There was no accountability. That is what makes some coaching staffs so great, is the yin and yang, right? Is the good cop, bad cop. John Gruden, I feel like, would bring an excellent bad cop to this formula. Andy Reid is forever the good cop, I think. Andy Reid is forever the players coach. Forever be like, you guys are doing okay, right? Now, I'm not saying that he's always like patting him on the back, but I'm saying John Gruden's going to get up in your face and, hey, this is how it is. So, Chad, would I like John Gruden on the Chiefs staff? Absolutely. Do you think he would move into OC next season? Absolutely. Although Andy Reid calls the plays, OC is just kind of a title with no promotion, right? There's a reason why Eric Bieniemy has not got another, or doesn't get those head coaching jobs, because it's Andy Reid's play calling. It was never Eric Bieniemy's. But I'm not for sure if John Gruden's ever looking for a head coaching job again. I mean, I think he only came back to the Raiders was because of the payday that they offered him. It was like 10 years, $100 million or whatever it was, something crazy. Probably still getting paid by the Raiders. It was all guaranteed money. But how great would that be for John Gruden to be on the Chiefs coaching staff, getting paid by the Raiders to coach against them and beat them down twice a year? It is a win-win. It is a win-win. And Casey says Gruden has a lot of experience. I wouldn't be against him being on the staff. Exactly. There's no reason. I don't understand why Chiefs fans are so upset about this. I do not understand why Chiefs fans are like, we don't want John Gruden. Why is he here? Why isn't he here? Why isn't John Gruden out here kind of, lording the reins, doing this, doing that, right? Why isn't he? I don't know. Casey says Bill won't coach again unless a team wants to hand him over the ownership to him. Bill Belichick will definitely have to be in charge, general manager, et cetera, whatever. And I don't know if any team right now would be willing to do that. You're actually right. Chad said Patrick Mahomes blew John's mind in that quarterback segment he had before the draft. Yes. Absolutely. It was the what was that segment? Basically, John Gruden would bring in the quarterbacks and they would break down film and stuff like that. I think it was a Monday Night Countdown thing, right? But yeah, he did absolutely blow that, right? Casey Morgan says Chiefs Reed versus Philly Reed is in Philly. Reed had to do 4 different jobs versus just being a head coach. With Chiefs, he gets to be just a head coach and do his job. True. He also let him do, 4 straight NFC championship games while, quote, doing 4 jobs? Showed you the greatness, right? Chad says, Andy grooms John for the Chiefs job when he leaves. That's my thought. So John Gruden is, 60 years old? And Andy Reid's pushing 66. I believe Andy Reid just signed a 4-year extension through 2028, if I'm not mistaken. So 4 years down the road, that makes John Gruden 64, potentially 65 years old. Just what Andy Reid's age is now. Do you think a person like John Gruden, if he had the opportunity to coach the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes 4 years older, kind of would be in the prime of his career, would be 32, 33, maybe on the downside, maybe a little bit. Potentially. But you could potentially be that coach in waiting, right? We always thought Eric Bieniemy would be that coach in waiting for the Kansas City Chiefs. Really never discussed it too much, but we kind of just assumed that his was, and that's why he wasn't taking these head coaching jobs. Turns out nobody really wanted him, and then he went to Washington and got fired. Now he's in the college ranks. USC, if I'm not mistaken. But I would not be opposed to, quote, grooming John Gruden to be Andy Reid's successor. But you're kind of with the battle you are now, right? You still have an oldest coach. If I'm grooming anybody, I want to groom a younger coach, right? Somebody like Joe Brady or something, the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. Bring him in and groom him for 3 years. And hey, we're going to groom you. You're a guy for the next head coach. I don't know. It's just kind of a double-edged sword. I wouldn't be opposed to it. Well, says Chad, maybe when you put it like that, it's not going to happen, but I can dream. As far as age, listen, Bill Belichick is 75 years old. Pete Carroll was 72 years old. Coaches coach for a long time. A good NFL coach will coach for a long, long time. If you think about it, these three young coaches, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay, and then Matt LaFleur, right? They all got coaching jobs. Hell, Mike McDaniels. They all got head coaching jobs like at 30, 34, 35 years old, right? They're the youngest coaches in the NFL. If you think about this, they will probably coach till their late 60s, early 70s. These guys will be coaching for 50 plus years. They can literally go through 3 or 4 generational of players, right, before their coaching career is done. If John Gruden were to be a head coach, 64, 65 years old, he could still probably coach for 10 years still. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I don't want to think about Andy Reid leaving. As a Chiefs fan, I don't want to think about Andy Reid leaving. I really, really enjoy what the Chiefs have right now. And I don't want to think about the future. Live for the moment, right? Live for the moment. Casey says, Andy is going to coach till there's no debate of Bill or Reid or Mahomes or Brady. That is the GOAT. When it's all said and done, Reid will be known as the greatest coach that found the greatest quarterback ever to play. I will agree with that. Casey also says that he's 75 dating a 24-year-old girl. Oh, jeez. Jeez. Chad asks, do we play fantasy football? Of course we do. Who are your top 5 players at this point in per catch league? Per catch, per run league, obviously you get, like, as far as fantasy goes, you have to go CMC, obviously. CMC, if he doesn't go first in your draft, the first person picking stupid, flat out honest. Then you got to go with a receiver that is going to get a lot of volumes of the ball that doesn't have a really good supporting cast. Obviously the Vikings do have a good supporting cast, but JJ is still the best receiver in the NFL. JJ is second. And then CD would be third. Jamar Chase will probably be fourth in my opinion. And then 5, you can kind of be a toss-up, right? You can go Puka from the Rams, which we're talking about the Rams later today. You can maybe go with some type of sleeper pick. Not really a sleeper pick, but like a Tyreek Hill or Jalen. But in number 5, I would have to go probably A.J. Brown. So CMC is first, and then JJ, CD, Jamar Chase, and then A.J. Brown would be my top 5. That's strictly off of the top of my head. I really haven't dove too much into fantasy football yet. My draft isn't for like another month, I think it is. But if you are interested in joining the Man Hour, Chad, we are doing a fantasy football league. It will be in our Discord. So join the Discord. The link is in the description. And we'll be definitely we'll probably do an 8-man league, maybe 12. We'll see. Casey says Hill and Mahomes will always be the top 2 in those positions. Casey, you never take a quarterback in third, or you never take a quarterback before the 3rd or 4th round. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So we got to talking about training camp fights. We'll be talking more about this tough love later. But Amon-Ra St. Brown gets jumped by the Giants, and none of the Detroit Lions defend them. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. But let's talk about the LA Rams. We are already 45 minutes into the day show. We have not set foot about the LA Rams. I got to get the little man off the bus about 5 minutes or so. So let's talk about the LA Rams. Let's talk about how the injuries are piling up for the LA Rams. The LA Rams right now, guys, had one of the deepest offensive lines going into this year's camp. When you look at the LA Rams, they had a lot of offensive line help. But since training camp has started, A.J. Jackson, Jonah Jackson, their big free agency signing from the Detroit Lions, Havenstein, and Dobson have all been injured so far this week in training camp. Jackson & Jackson sounds like a cheap-ass law firm. The left side of the anchor of the LA Rams are both out with hamstring and a scapula injury, respectively. Dobson has a foot injury. I believe he has turf toe. Havenstein went out to practice on Friday. He has yet to, we really don't know what is wrong with his thing yet, but injuries are starting to add up for the LA Rams, guys. And this is a big issue for the LA Rams because they potentially could be a really, really good team. But if these injuries start to add up, linger over into the regular season, we're going to hear a lot of what ifs from the LA Rams this season. We're going to hear a lot of, well, what if Jonah Jackson was healthy? What if A.J. Jackson was healthy? What if Havenstein didn't roll his ankle? What if Dobson didn't have turf toe? Arguably, the Rams had one of the deepest offensive lines in the NFL. You are down 4 starters right now in training camp. 4 starters. If you lose one, yeah, it is life. Life of the NFL. I read a stat somewhere where only 1% of NFL players on any active roster does not get injured all season long. No minor aches, bruins, or prains, right? Normally the backup placeholder. 1% of players do not report any minor aches and pains throughout the NFL season. 1 injury, shit happens. 2, that's tough, but we'll figure it out. 3, you're starting to think, why us? 4, you start thinking like, man, can we get our retirement player back? Can we do a little bit of this? Something's got to be figured out. But this year for the LA Rams, guys, I have them going 10-7. I have the Rams going 10-7 this season, and I think they're going to start off the season hot. They're going to start the season on the road versus Detroit Lions. That is a win. They're going to start on the road, the second week 2 on the road versus the Arizona Cardinals. That is another win. They come back home. They play the San Francisco 49ers week 3, and that is a win. Week 4 on the road versus Chicago Bears. That is a loss. Week 5 back at home. Green Bay Packers come into town. That is a loss. 3 of their first 5 games are on the road. 3 of the first 4 are on the road, traveling to Detroit, traveling to Arizona, traveling to Chicago. A lot of miles on that old body already. Week 6 is a bye week. I think they do well versus the Raiders and Vikings, both wins. They drop to Seattle at home after beating the Vikings on Thursday Night Football. Monday Night Football is week 10. Miami Dolphins come into town. I think they step up and they beat them. They beat the Patriots. They beat the Eagles. Beat the Buffalo Bills. And then they kind of get on this little skid. Losing to the 49ers, losing to the Jets, beating the Cardinals, and losing to the Seahawks to end the season, losing 3 of their last 4. Giving them a 10-7 record. Not terrible. Right now, second place in the division. Behind the 11-6 San Francisco 49ers. So let me know, guys, is this too high or is this too low? 10-7 for the LA Rams. But until next time, guys, we are out. Little man gets off the bus in 1 minute. I got to be there or the bus won't drop him off. We out.